Okay. I know where I am now. Richmond and Spadina. So I'm going to take Spadina down to King Street. And King Street is the theater district. And we'll walk past some of the bigger theaters. Here's some more impressive graffiti. Which I might not be able to see with the construction barrier. Okay, battery replacement time. So that painting on the wall in front of me is the famous Jose Bautista flip for the Toronto Blue Jays in 2015. And yes, I had to look that up. Figured I have to change the battery anyway, might as well check out the year. So yes, Jose Bautista, the famous bat flip.
Okay, yeah. I can let you know.
I'm about to be blinded by dust. So I said famous, could be infamous, depending on which side of the world of baseball you're on, but for Toronto baseball fans, I'd say that was famous. Oh God, more construction. Oh jeez. Alright, across the street for this one. are heading east on King Street West. So if you happen to be a crane operator, Toronto is the place to be. I read somewhere, maybe last year or the year before, that something like half of all the world's cranes are in operation in Toronto. And seeing all these new buildings going up, buildings coming down, you can see why. So on the left here, passing the TIFF Bell Lightbox movie theater where the Toronto International Film Festival, holds a lot of the, I think it's kind of the, the premiere gala showings of movies. That happens every September. So if you're coming to see a show in Toronto, kind of a big production, off-Broadway show or something like that. I guess it's not off-Broadway, but a Broadway show that has come to Toronto, this is where you'll likely see it. So up ahead on the left is the Princess of Wales Theatre.
What is she calling me about? Friday, December 1st? Okay, okay. Can you tell her? Okay. Friday, December 1st. Oh, I mean, that's great. Talk like this is talking. Why is she on?
Princess of Wales Theatre right there. Earlier in this long walk, I mentioned Ed Mirvish. And you can see out there it says mirvish.com. So that's part of his legacy. I remember in the description of this video to put how many kilometers or miles I walked today. I'll leave that up to my phone to track. There's an interesting building up there. So earlier, when I was at the corner of College and University, I mentioned the television show The Boys. Here is the bottom of Vought Tower. If you are a fan of the show, quite often you'll see things recorded outside of this area. And that kind of crisscross design gets carried up the top of Vought Tower, which is a computer-generated tower. But this is Roy Thomson Hall, and this is where all the superheroes of Vought live. The bottom floor, anyway. Oh, I should mention across the street right there is the Royal Alexandra Theatre, yet another theatre in the theatre district. So I'm going to see if I can walk around Roy Thomson Hall and capture it from all angles. See if I can do an interesting addition to this video. I should also mention this is where in the first X-Men movie, oh, this kind of screws up the effect I wanted. Oh well. The first X-Men movie, I think in 2000 or so, where Charles Xavier, Mr. X or Professor X, meets up with Magneto. They're listening to some discussion on what to do with mutants, and Charles and his real name escapes me, but Magneto have a quick discussion about why mutants are under siege, and Charles goes the way of the good, Magneto goes the way of the bad. Eric was his first name. I can't remember his last name. Alright, I am quite certain that did not give me the effect I wanted, considering I couldn't really walk around it completely in a circle, but that's life. Okay, I'm going to double back now to visit a spot for sports enthusiasts. I mentioned earlier the Toronto Blue Jays and the Jose Bautista bat flip. My body is telling me to keep going on to Union Station, but my brain says there's more to record. Oh boy. So, I don't think I actually mentioned why Roy Thomson Hall exists. It's a concert hall. Apparently has incredible acoustics. I'm pretty sure I've never actually ever been in there. I've been inside the Princess of Wales Theatre. But never inside Roy Thomson Hall. I think I saw cats here with my family. There's the CN Tower, of course. I'll try to get a bit closer to that. We'll see what happens. So we are heading west on King Street now, away from Union Station. One more block to go, I think, and then I turn left. There is the Tiff Bell Lightbox Theatre once again. King and Peter Street. Is this the street that I want? Yes, it is. So that was King Street. I mentioned if you are coming to Toronto to see a performance in the theater, you'll probably end up on King Street or Yonge Street in those theaters I passed earlier. If you are coming to watch the Toronto Blue Jays play, or coming to a concert, a huge venue for a concert, you'll be coming to this place up ahead. So the last time I was here was for a concert, and it was the loudest concert I've ever heard in my life. I've talked about my love of heavy metal and Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Airborne, Accept, Ozzy Osbourne, those guys, Cinderella, AC/DC, Motley Crue. I've seen all of those guys, all of those bands in concert. When I went to see Airborne and Accept, they were in very small venues. Not that the size of the venue matters. Heavy metal bands like to crank it up as loud as they can, so you're practically deaf. But the smaller venues seem to be even louder. But those bands, they were not the loudest concert I ever saw. I was up ahead, formerly known as the Sky Dome, the Rogers Center where the Blue Jays play, as I said. And the concert I went to see, I was at work, and I heard on the radio that they were selling 4 tickets for the price of 3. So I called my wife and said, I think it was a Friday night or whatever it was, hey, why don't you pick me up from work? We'll go see this concert. Bring the kids along, especially because the #1 fan was my daughter. It was One Direction. And when I say loudest concert, I'm not referring to the music. I'm referring to the screams. 50,000 girls screaming because Harry Styles peeped through a curtain. Or they thought it was Harry Styles. It was just some random person peeping through a curtain. It wasn't even on stage, it was above the stage. And every time that curtain moved, screaming. And then when the boys of One Direction did come out, it was mayhem. It's probably equivalent to Taylor Swift these days. To be honest, it was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed the One Direction concert. They put on an excellent show. And with both my kids, I kind of want to take an interest into what music they're listening to. So I was well versed in the world of One Direction. I know all their hits. I actually tried to play along with a couple of them on my guitar. And it was an excellent concert. We left before, I think we left right at the, right when the first encore was about to begin, because my daughter was falling asleep. She was probably 6 years old at the time, maybe 7. So she made it through most of it. So congratulations to her. It's got a wonderful whiff of sewer gas. Oh. Whew. Anyway, enough about me reminiscing about the Toronto Blue Jays. Sorry, about One Direction. I'm reading the sign for Toronto Blue Jays, and well, quite frankly, I think dehydration and fatigue are starting to set in. So yes, this is where the Toronto Blue Jays play. This is where Jose Bautista did his bat flip. So down there, oh, there's a nice view of the CN Tower. So those train tracks, that's where I came in this morning. And if anybody has watched this entire video, thank you. You are a trooper. I probably would have given up after the first hour. Oh boy. Okay, so there's the CN Tower. Why does it look like it's moving? I think I'm about to pass out. All right, so we're gonna go around Rogers Center.